Welcome to the Mental Health Militia News, where I am your host, Chabul, here with his co-host, Mr. Munster. Thank you, Mr. Munster. Today in the news, we have a doozy. But before we get into that, I must mention a disclaimer. Yes, this is a news station that comes with a warning. Why? Because we care that the information we provide you might be fire. But it turns out that it is me and Mr. Munster gathering it, producing it, writing it, and delivering it. So it could blow up in your face just like this, gentlemen. So please listen with some discretion and use this for educational purposes only. Moving on from the fire to yes, as we're starting to understand who Chabul is, he is starting to scrub a whole bunch of news stories. Why? Because it's really hard to put down a whole bunch of news stories and then put it out. So I want to stay consistent with at least grabbing some of the most important pieces and keeping it short if I have to. Moving on from who Chabul is to the opening quote. Men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as nothing had happened. Winston Churchill. Now, I seen the truth. I was like, the truth. But I got a club. I was like, yeah. And then I was like, and then I found that the government was lying to me and lying to me again and lying to me again. And then I was like, hey, we can't stumble no more. We have to start asking questions. Mr. Munster wants to start asking questions too. Moving on from the opening quote to the opening story. Hunter Biden firm Rosemont Seneca invested in firm tied to Ukrainian biolabs. Yes, we've seen here that the U.S. State Department had redacted that they were like, we don't have U.S. biolabs in Ukraine. But you know who does? Hunter Biden. So we see here that the U.S. was like, you can point anywhere but us. So please do not look at us to where those biological labs are linked to. Moving on from the news to the face melting section with your MHM news. To the Atlantic ridiculed for warning nuclear war would wreck climate. Well, what else would it do? The nuclear war would be as disastrous for the Earth's climate, according to the recent piece in the Atlantic that drew harsh criticism for the focus on the harms posed to the environment by the potential nuclear exchange resulting from the current conflict in Ukraine. Yes, we're seeing here, they're like, well, if a nuclear bomb goes off, it's not going to be good for the air around us. Are they trying to tell us that there's a potential nuclear bomb going off? Mr. Munster, what do you think? Mr. Munster thinks that they're setting us up for something. Moving on from the news to the sick world news with your MHM news. At this point, it's all sick to me. To yes, who says it advised Ukraine to destroy pathogens in health labs to prevent disease spread? Yes, on the 11th, the WHO advised Ukraine to destroy high-threat pathogens housed in the county's public health laboratories to prevent any potential spills that would spread disease among the population, the agency told Reuters. Yes, they are saying that we know these people got some deadly and that we need you to, I don't know, put a flame to it. You need to burn that petri dish and just get it all over with. But now they're putting in the news that they're like, what if Putin gets a hold of this and puts it out and just starts killing the world? Well, that means Russia would have to get, pathogens spread across them. So these people are trying to put something inside your brain that doesn't need to be inside your brain because they've been trying to pollute it the whole time. Moving on from the news. To yes, bunker down why Switzerland is prepared for the big one. Nuclear war is still in the news. The nuclear fallout shelter for all 9 million residents of Switzerland. Why the country has been prepared for nuclear war for many decades and what residents are expected to do in the event of one. After Russia's attack this week on Ukraine power plant Zaporizhzhia, the Swiss government assured residents that the country is prepared for every kind of attack, even a nuclear one, with fallout shelters for every resident in Switzerland. And they've got you covered, apparently. We see here that They are pushing the big one coming anywhere in the world, and we see them obviously trying to push it inside your brain. In Switzerland's like, we knew it was coming because we neutral because we get all the plans first. Moving on from the news because they probably making the plans in Switzerland. That's because that's where they keep all their money. Welcome to America, bitches, with your MHM news. That's me working on my Clint Eastwood. Make my day. Moving on to the nuclear detonation response simulation to be held at Center Park, stating what to know. Atlanta Fulton County Emergency Management Agency is participating Thursday in a nuclear detonation simulation with U.S. Northern Command. The county said is a release that it would be a tabletop exercise to simulate the response 48 hours after a nuclear detonation and the resulting nuclear fallout. Yes, we see here that the nuclear bomb might not, be detonated in Atlanta or Fulton County, but we see these emergency management agency getting exercise with the U.S. Northern Command. So could we see a nuclear bomb be set off inside the United States, activating these two agencies to cover what is happening, them having to get out thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people out of an area before, I don't know, they grow two heads, cancer spreads in their anus? I have no idea. But hopefully it's not Philadelphia. Please, not Philadelphia. Chicago's got a lot of deaths. I mean, they seem to have a lot of extra people to spare. I'm kidding. Moving on from the news to that, how can I not help you in tech support with your MHM news? To symptoms. Study finds first of its kind with your MHM news. Swedish researchers found 5G radiation causes typical symptoms indicative of microwave syndrome. The study, published in the journal Medic Sync Access, also confirmed that non-ionizing radiation well below levels allowed by authorities can cause health problems. Miss a day, miss a lot. Oh, that's something for the subscription. In the first study of its kind, Swedish researchers found 5G radiation causes typical symptoms indicative of microwave syndrome. Yes, we see here that, hey, I guess it's under what it's approved, but it shouldn't be approved at all. If you want to see what it's really like, go put your head next to your microwave while it's cooking your water for 5 minutes and see how that makes you feel. That's exactly what high energy exposure is going to feel like, standing next to a 5G tower, and then it's going to fry your brain and cause cancer. Maybe, I don't know. It's just my opinion. Moving on from the news to the Rona Jabberoonie section of your MHM news. To Russians call for UN Security Council meeting over Pentagon-funded Ukraine biolabs that involved Rona research. Russia has requested a meeting with the UN Security Council over purported U.S. military biological activities in Ukraine. Igor Kirov of the Russian Defense Ministry and head of the Nuclear, Chemical, and Biological Protection of Troops presented alleged evidence regarding the Pentagon-funded biological threat reduction program in Ukraine. Yes, we see here that this man came up with a whole bunch of evidence, and he wasn't just talking game, he was throwing it too. He was like, I got this, and I got that, and I got this. So what is it? Is the U.S. funding these biological labs? Are they blaming Hunter Biden, or is everybody just pointing fingers at everybody? Moving on from the news to the if you've made it this far, you've made it to your veteran section of your MHM news. Moving on to the Agent 00 Dan Scavino puts out a tweet with a big whale coming to the surface. Are we going to see some of these big whales coming down, leaving in handcuffs all over the news? maybe causing the 10-day blackout. But when that arrest happens, is that when the bomb is detonated? I have no idea. I am learning as I go on, but who knows? I really, at this point, I want to see Klaus Schwab go down. At first, it was Bill Gates, but now it's Klaus Schwab. Can I take back the last guy I gave? Does anybody remember that? I guess I remember it. Klaus Schwab's my new answer. Moving on to the yes in. Okay, so that also that whale I was in Antarctica, so this have a potential with uh Antarctica. There is a mission going down in Antarctica, but the mission is right behind me. So let me try to see if I can move this real quick. So there are two missions right now going on in Antarctica, and the missions are. Man, I really thought I had that. But either way, is there two military missions going on in Antarctica bringing a whale to the surface because in early 2021 they needed permission from all these countries in order to send military troops to Antarctica. So are we going to be seeing the arrest come from Antarctica? I don't know. I don't know. I just did my best to explain it to you, and I murdered it, slaughtered it. Call me, call me a Bundy. Moving on from the yes in post 951, almost exactly to a 4-year Delta March Madness. Public will know soon. Woo! Hopefully it's soon, extremely soon. To the yes, also, if you are very familiar with the Q drops, we noticed that Major Patriot put out, I think I might have found the keystone in the arc, Ukraine, the emerging security environment of Central and Eastern Europe. What are we going to find out here? I know. Oh gosh, I know because it's in the next one. I didn't even do it on purpose. It just happened to fall that way. Yes, the big boom, China. He was trying to tell us the whole time without saying China. He was saying China. Yes, we see here put together by our girl Mel Q. Guys, Trump said Rona come from China. China, Ukraine. Boom. It's Sifil, China, Ukraine, west of Khazar, where Ashkenazis originated from and Putin is going after Nazis. Yes, we see here that they were keeping us distracted with Wuhan, and that you see here that they were going after China, the originator of the Corona 19 Wuhan. Well, it's not really Wuhan no more. It's China. Moving on to the. Gosh, if you've made it this far, that is all for now. From the Mental Health Militia News, Mr. Munster and Chabul. Have a good one. God bless you and yours. Holla, Chabul. 2 fingers. China. My teeth look like I've been brushing them with clay for some reason. I try to take care of these jammers. I don't want them to fall out of my head. Gosh, that was great. That was great. It was short. It was short and sweet and to the point. Got to do better with that reading now. Got to do better with that reading. Da 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 da.